everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I am going to be starting a new series which I thought would be fun. And that is going to be 5 books in 5 minutes based on a certain theme. So I am a serial waffler, like all of my videos, if I let them, I could be like easily over 20 minutes. I just love to waffle. So this is my way of trying to provide some like nice, concise book recommendations that you can just watch the video quickly and get some good recommendations and stuff. So yeah, so today's video I'm going to be talking about 5 books for fantasy beginners. So if you're new to kind of adult SFF, some books that I think you would enjoy and a good place to start. So the first one is like, I think what everyone recommends, that is Mistborn Era 1. So the first book is The Final Empire, and this is written by Brandon Sanderson, and I feel like Sanderson has a really good writing style for it's very easy to read and kind of assimilate the information, and he introduces you to a lot of sort of complex and kind of themes that are used a lot in adult fantasy, but in like a very easy to understand way. And the magic system is quite complex, but it's sort of very scientific, so at least the way my brain works, I found it very easy to understand, and like there's reference charts in the back and stuff, so you sort of feel I feel like it boosts your confidence as well because you're getting to grips with this complex magic system, but it's also really easy. So anyway, so the book is about Vin, who is like an orphan, and she gets taken in by Kelsier, who's like this crime lord basically. And Vin has all these powers, so she can ingest metals and use their powers, and in the world different people can ingest different metals and get different powers from them, but Vin can like ingest all the metals and get all the powers, which makes her something called a Mistborn. Oh god, this is so hard, I'm already at 2 minutes. So anyway, and Kelsier and his crew are trying to overthrow the Lord Ruler, so Vin gets involved in that, and that's basically the story. So yeah, so anyway, so next book is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which follows Rin, who is a I think she's another orphan, and she goes to this school called Synagard, where they like train to be sort of military people in the war, and then the war starts later in the book, and then there's a lot of fighting and sort of military-esque stuff. So I feel like the Poppy War itself is, the first kind of half is almost a bit of a schooly setting, which I think is good and quite familiar, because I feel like a lot of sort of fantasy middle grades or fantasy YA that you might be used to if you've not read much adult sci-fi have like magical schools, so that's familiar, and then it introduces you to a more sort of military sci-fi, it's quite dark as well in the second half. So yeah, would highly recommend, and then the series just expands and gets more complex and just great as the books go on. So that's that one. Okay, then book 3, so we have Master of Jin by P. Djeli Clark, and this is kind of set in an alternative Cairo in the sort of 1910s. It's a bit steampunky. There's various sort of mythology, kind of Middle Eastern mythology, so there's like jinn and angels and various different creatures, and they're sort of, it's normal in the world for them. And we're following Fatima, who works for this like Ministry of Special Investigations, so she sort of deals with crimes that are involved in the like supernatural, and she gets a new apprentice, Hadia, and together they are investigating this cult who are all murdered by someone who is claiming to be this recoming of this powerful ancient figure. So they're sort of investigating what's going on, and it's just a really fun, it's sort of like a bit of a murder mystery, or like not even a murder mystery, like a mystery, a kind of cozy mystery, but also in this like fantasy world, which is really cool. And there's a great sapphic relationship. It's really fun. It'll put a smile on your face. The writing is so good, like P. Djeli Clark's writing, oh, chef's kiss. So yeah, I would highly recommend that one. Okay, another book I'd really recommend is The Boneshell's Daughter by Andrea Stewart. So this is one that I feel like has a lot of crossover between YA and adult fantasy. Although I would definitely call it adult fantasy, but I feel like if you're used to YA, there's a lot of kind of familiar concepts that you might like. So following 2, I would say, main characters. So Lynn, who is the Emperor's daughter, and she is trying to basically undermine her father by making these bone constructs, and making the bone constructs obey her instead of her father, to prove that she's like the best heir that she can be. And then we're also following Javis, who's like this grumpy smuggler who befriends this little otter kitten thing called Methy, who sort of acts as Javis's moral compass, and it's really good. The storylines kind of interact. The second book especially expands on a lot of the world and sort of magic system and these kind of ancient powerful figures that are coming back into play, and there's just a lot of really good elements. The writing style is really easy to read, and it just keeps you engaged the whole time, and yeah, just really boost your confidence, so would highly recommend. And then the final book I'm going to talk about is The City of Brass, which is the first book in the Daevabad series, and this one is by S.A. Chakraborty, and this one again is a bit, I think if you like reading YA you'll find some similar concepts, but it's definitely very much adult fantasy. There's a lot of kind of heavy politics, especially in book 2. So we're following Nari, who is a kind of con artist on the streets of Cairo, and one day she accidentally summons this djinn who takes her away to this magical city called Daevabad, and then Nari kind of discovers her sort of hidden past and her sort of destiny within this magical city. There's loads of really fun elements. I love the mythology, it's so great. All the sort of tribe politics and the different relationships the different characters have with each other, I think is great. There's so many good characters. Nari is kind of a healery character who I love, and there's Alizade, who is the prince, and he is so a bit of a cinema role. I love him as well. So yeah, I would just really recommend the series. It's very kind of, again, easy to read. The audiobooks are amazing. There's a lot of kind of complex concepts easily introduced, and I just feel like you would really enjoy it. So yeah, so that is the video. Hopefully this is under 5 minutes. It's over 5 minutes at the moment because I'm gonna edit bits out because I was just sat there staring into space for various parts of it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful, and let me know if you like the idea of this series, or if you don't like the idea and you feel like I'm talking way too fast, because I feel like I'm doing that right now. Like the last minute of the Oski stations is like getting out your management plan. But yeah, so anyway, that's the video. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all having a really great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.